Alright, so somebody asked me my opinion and wanted me to give a video movie review on Training Day, starring Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke. That's one of the movies that I really liked. Highly recommend the movie if you haven't seen it before. There's so much that can be learned from that movie. It's relevant in many aspects of our lives, and I think it will teach a lot about about the martial arts and what happens in the martial arts, and you know being a police officer in general is very relevant to martial arts as well. They're the protectors of the community and the society, and they're allowed to have all sorts of weapons on duty and even off duty. So it's very relevant for the martial arts, you know. Now in the movie, Denzel Washington, you know, plays like a corrupted police officer, and then Ethan Hawke is a new police officer, that just joined the force trying to learn the ropes from Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington is more experienced. Ethan Hawke is a beginner, but Ethan Hawke has a good heart and he's trying to do good, and he's really trying to fulfill the objectives of what a police officer is supposed to do. But Denzel Washington is just basically like a police officer off the streets, just doing things according to his own rules. Not the rules of the law, but his own rules. And basically, he broke so many rules through his career that he ended up not representing a police officer anymore. He ended up like becoming a criminal himself. You know, when you break so many rules and you bend too many rules, there's no turning. You already crossed the line. There's a line between like a criminal and a police officer that you can't cross, and Denzel Washington just kept crossing that line over and over again. And basically, he's just representing corruption. The police and what they're supposed to represent and what they're supposed to do for society is supposed to be like a positive thing. It's supposed to be something that's there to benefit the people. But when too many people are corrupted that hold positions of power and authority within the police field, then it becomes no longer a police department, but it may become like more of like an organized mafia, like an organized like way of conducting criminal activity. So the police officers end up not being people that should be trusted, but they end up becoming people that should be feared and despised of, and watched out for. People that I mean, they say it sometimes. Some people mentioned before that I think it was even Tupac that to replace like the white hoodie with the badge. So it's like instead of putting like a Nazi person putting on a white like cone shaped hoodie, they just put police badges on them. They're just like people that are there to suppress, you know, um, those who are poor or those who are minorities. And it's a horrible thing when the government itself, the police, and the law are not there for the benefit of the society. So this is almost representing like what martial arts is supposed to be, which is the police, and what it's supposed to be there for, to like serve the community and protect, the citizens from the criminals. Like that's what the police are supposed to be there for. That's what real martial artists are supposed to do, for example. And then Denzel Washington's like representing like somebody that's corrupted and he's not fulfilling those duties, and that he's not fulfilling that role. He becomes a part of the problem, not just, but worse. It becomes worse than an average criminal, because an average criminal doesn't have a police badge, doesn't have the police car, doesn't have the credentials. He's somebody that may have a gun or a weapon, or he might be with his friends, and they're labeled as criminals, and then you could identify these criminals that commit criminal activity. But then when a police officer that has a badge, a gun, his police buddies and the police car and everything, like there's that public trust that you have there, and they're basically conducting a lot of crime, with that uniform on, and then it makes it harder to identify the issues that need to be resolved, and it's hard to identify these people as criminals when they have this uniform that basically supposed to be representing like public trust in what they do. Um, but the movie's a great movie. I do highly recommend it. Hold on. And another thing it indicates is how Denzel Washington, he is a very charismatic person, and the whole movie, you're just drawn to his character, even though he's not a good person, like he's doing a lot of bad things. You're still drawn to his character, and it's like his charisma is so strong that it almost makes you, want to cheer him on in what he's doing, even though he's doing things that are not things that are good things. So it's like you're almost like cheering on the villain opposed to the hero, and it just shows that the power of of negative energy and what the types of effects it can have on people. When you have people that are, like say people like they're very charismatic, and they're just kind of, they peer pressured you into like smoking crack or heroin and make it seem like such a great thing when it's not, or you have friends that peer pressured you into stealing things and stuff, and stealing cars and stealing whatever. It's like there's people out there that have this charisma to kind of guide you towards like the path of destruction, and Denzel Washington was a representation of somebody like that in this movie. Just making you feel like, taking drugs is okay, and killing people is okay, and planting drugs on onto people is okay, and violating people's rights is okay, and basically laundering money or stealing money from criminals, make it seem that's all okay. Just having sex with whoever you want to and not caring about the person's okay. I mean, it's like these people that have a lot of charisma, but they got very poor values. They become horrible leaders that end up guiding people towards further destruction, and that's very dangerous for society.